Anth, as I stand in front of you on our wedding day and reflect on what we want to promise to one another, I can't pretend to know what our future will be, as every day and every moment will look so different. One of the many pieces of advice I received from sweet little old lady patients when I was nursing was that you be married to several different people in your lifetime, and if you're lucky, they'll all be the same person. And I definitely think that I got lucky. I'm so proud of the people we've grown into together, even if it did take us 9 years to get here.
This is the story of Anthony. As a kid, Anthony was an explorer and a little adventure geek.
A favourite memory of mine was when one weekend we were about 19 and we found some old fireworks. We decided to go driving around, so we'll just lighten them up and we're throwing them out the window. And so one of them just, like Anthony, decided to light it, and it short fused in his hand, and it just blew up inside of the car. And it just took days for the ringing in our ears to stop. But while Anthony was like sitting in the front, just trying to figure out if he still had all of his fingers, Chris and I were just outside the car rolling around on the ground.
Talia from a young age was always the person that was going to be the friend of everyone. At school, she was always the new kid's friend. Some may say that came from a wish to mother those children. Others would say it came from a wish to boss those children around. She loves organising everyone's life, but thank God she does, because she organises a whole lot of us all the way through.
I met Talia on the hockey field at the end of Year 10 when we were both at arch-rival schools. I was never quite sure of her name. I just knew of her as that annoyingly fast, blonde Monty player with a pink stick, a loud voice and a killer backswing. You're my best friend, my partner in crime, and I can't thank you enough for our friendship for the past 14 years.
So we met during Surf Life Saving, at the Surf Life Saving Carnival. Couldn't stop thinking about her from the first time I met her.
This wasn't something she had experienced in past relationships, and she knew in her heart that Anth was the man she wanted to be with forever. As for Anthony, he had been totally love-struck from day one. And so began Talia's subtle, or at times overt, campaign to bug Anthony into proposing. There was a bit of a Barney when it didn't happen on their anniversary, as expected in July of 2020, and Talia was starting to despair that it would never happen at all. But Anthony had a trick or two up his sleeve. Let us jump to the 18th of December 2020. Anth spun a tale about a CEO work breakfast in the city and told Talia to dress up fancy. He organised to borrow Talia's dad's car and drove into the city and parked at the Opera House. He led her up to the main foyer in front of the Opera House. He said that they might as well get a nice picture together since they were all dressed up. Anthony handed the camera to a tourist bystander who was in fact an undercover operative. As they posed for their photo, Anth turned to Talia, ready to profess his love. Immediately, Talia started telling him off. "What are you doing? You're facing the wrong way. Look at the camera." Looking directly at Talia, Anth bent down on one knee. Talia was completely in shock. It was 7:30 on a Friday morning and she hadn't even had her coffee yet. Finally, he looked into her eyes and said, "Will you marry me?" Talia was so shocked. For once, she was lost for words. Anthony pulled out the ring and Talia, in complete surprise, she looked into his eyes and said yes.
I will love you every single day in the best way I know how. That may not always look the same, and it does not mean always telling you what you want to hear, but it does mean doing everything in my power to help you achieve everything you want out of life. I promise to hold, love, support, and consistently stand by every version of you yet to come. I promise to stand by your side as your teammate for all the days of our life yet to come. I love you.
From our first meeting on the beach, I remember we started making any excuse to catch up with our friends at North Avoca. Now 8 years later, I find myself missing your presence during the long stressful days and excited to share all the moments of triumph and success. Talia, I promise to hold your hand during the long plane rides and hangry meltdowns. I promise to sincerely listen to your fair and balanced opinions. I promise to always be patient and cherish every moment of time we have together. I promise to hold you during the lows and the highs and stand beside you all the way. I love you.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to introduce New South Wales' newest married couple, Mr. and Mrs. Field.
Hides and I are extremely proud of the young lady that Talia's grown up to be. She's incredibly loving, she's incredibly generous, she's incredibly strong, and I wrote those down so I wouldn't forget them.
And you popped out chaotic.
And she gets an incredible intelligence and determination from her mum, which goes through all the girls in our family.
I sat in the car today driving over and I was in the front seat, couldn't help but just keep looking back at our beautiful daughter.
All you can wish for your daughter or son is that the partner they choose makes them happy and will be there to support them in the good times, but more importantly, support them when times get a bit tough, which there will happen. And I think Anth is the right person to do that for Talia.
Congratulations, guys. I wish you all the best for the future. You guys are perfect for each other.
You two are destined for the most wonderful, amazing future together, full of adventure, laughter, and love.